Okay. Yeah. So, and I go by Bob, Mona Lisa. So yeah, Bob
Sure.
Whittle. All right. So I spent 33 years in the military after graduating from West Point. Grew up on a small family farm in Mystic, Connecticut, and came to USAA because I wanted to continue to be able to help service members and their families. And this was a great way to move from military service to industry and still have that sense of mission.
Excellent. And how long have you been with USAA?
For a year and 2 months.
Excellent. Excellent.
It's going well so far. Every day my badge has worked when I came back to work. So,
That's good. That's very good news. So tell me, how does employing veterans enhance USAA's overall business strategy and culture?
All right. Well, Mona Lisa, USA was founded in 1922, actually by 25 Army officers. What happened was they couldn't find insurance anywhere. Companies thought that because these officers moved so much and because they're in the military, that they would be very high risk. So they decided, hey, why don't we just get together and insure each other? So the 25 of them filed with the Texas Department of Insurance and created the United States Army Automobile Association. 1 year later, we made the questionable decision of admitting the Navy as well. So we became the United States Auto Association. I'm looking over at Colleen. She's married to a Naval Academy graduate. So. Well, so as a result, that's been our mission ever since. It's been able to help service members and veterans and their families. And we've expanded to the point where it's no longer just officers, it's officers and enlisted as well. And it's an incredible company. It turned out those 25 officers were lower risk than most people. And so the company's been successful as a result of the connectivity between the veterans and the way they handle themselves. So this goes right into the question you asked of what value do veterans provide to USAA. Is we need to always have a line of sight into what our members need. And they're not members, right? They're not stockholders, they're members. And so we always treat them, they're owners of the company and we treat them that way. But at the end of the day, we're always asking ourselves, how else can we help veterans? Just like you did, Mona Lisa, in the beginning of the interview, you started the magazine because you wanted to help veterans. And so that's why USA started, and we want to remain true to that. I'm going to back up and see if the camera will stop going in.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It's trying to autofocus.
It is trying to autofocus. I'm not sure how to turn that off. Let's see. Now it's out of focus. There we go.
If you, why don't you back it up further? And you know what? They probably could clip the stuff that's on the outside.
Yeah, I can clip it out. Absolutely.
Okay.
And that will, I think.
Yeah, you're right. It's way better.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it now?
There we go. It just stopped. Yeah, there we go. If you leave it right there, that'll be perfect.
Just get back in them so that you can.
I don't know how that'll go.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So, okay, Bob. So in your own experience, what are the top qualities that veterans bring to their role at USAA?
It turns out the top qualities veterans bring here are the same ones that they bring to the military. So there's the resiliency. They've been through some tough days in the military. They've been challenged. They've had to find out who they really are to make it through the challenges of military life. And so when they come to USAA, they're very resilient as well. And they remain calm under pressure. I mean, they've been under great pressure in the military. And here it is not life or death. It's obviously very important, but as a result, they tend to be very, very calm. They're disciplined, organized. Many of them have worked at a very high level in the military bureaucracy, so they're able to organize things here as well.
Excellent. What specific challenges do military spouses face in the job market, and how does USAA address these?
So military spouses, because we move so much in the military, they've consistently had an unemployment rate of about 21%. So when we hire a military spouse here, of course, and we're about almost 25% either veterans or military spouses as far as employees go. So we have a very good line of sight into those challenges. So we do a few things to help them. If a military spouse, if their spouse who is serving has a permanent change of station, which means they're moving to a new post or base, we'll give them up to 40 hours of paid leave, so 5 full working days to help them with their move, which is
That's excellent.
a great benefit for an employer. Also, if they're doing so well here at USAA, if a military spouse is like, say, here in San Antonio, and all of a sudden maybe they have to move to another state, they can apply to be able to work from home if they're not near one of our offices, and we'll take a really good look at trying to accommodate that as well.
Yeah, that helps as a military spouse to be able to have that support from their employer. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And we also have another employee organization, an employee resource organization really, called VetNet. So, a veterans network, and military spouses and veterans and their supporters are part of that network as well. And that helps with transitioning for veterans from the military into industry here. They all face some unique challenges, of course, when they take the uniform off, and the spouses as well, helping them to come to industry to work after what might be a lot of volunteer work that they might have done early in their spouse's military career, and into the workplace.
So that's more like an employee resource group that's more specific
It is.
to the different veteran groups. So that's outstanding. And
Yeah, that's very well said. And I was mentioning some unique challenges that veterans and their spouses have. And so if a veteran, say they move from a military post, leave the service, they come to San Antonio to work at USAA. In the military, every time you move to a new place, you usually know a few people there already. You've already got this like built-in family of people who wear the same uniform that you do, have shared experiences. So when they come here to USAA, because of our mission and because we're almost 25% veterans and military spouses, there really is a culture that they can join that they're familiar with and quickly bond with. And that takes a lot of the pressure out of the transition.
I think it makes it attractive for applying to a job when you have those types of groups. And I'm sure that the employees within those groups shared some of that. I've actually heard about some of that as well. I also am very familiar with the many collaborations and partnerships you have. I go to a lot of events. I see a lot of different ads, and I see the USAA, logo next to a partner that, I really believe in. And I always say, wow, there they go again, so it's really, it's a test to who you guys are. I wanted to see if you could share, I know this is a lot to ask, but some examples of some partnerships and collaborations that have helped bring veterans into your workforce, because I know you support quite a bit. I know you can't mention them all, but are there any in particular, that are really special or important to you, that these partnerships and collaborations have really assisted in allowing veterans to know a little bit more about you?
Yeah, so I'll mention one, and like you said, we do have many. Hiring our heroes is very impactful for USAA, and even more importantly for just service members in general as they transition from the military. So it's nice to be able to speak about them. But they send us fellows from Hiring Our Heroes that we align on in terms of their potential to work here at USAA. And then they'll come here and they will work for a good, 3 months or longer as part of that fellowship. And then they can apply for a job here when that's complete. And because they've worked here and they've been able to network here, they tend to be very successful in finding employment at USAA.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm very familiar with some of these partnerships that you have. What are some other initiatives that USAA has that are in place to support veterans, maybe outside of employment?
Well, there's one I'd really like to share with you, and that is we have we have a endeavor right now that's called Face the Fight. And what we're doing is we're combating veteran suicide, which is, of course, as you probably heard, is higher than the national rate. And
Absolutely.
it is, I think, something that everyone in today's polarized day and age, I think we can all agree that we want to help veterans and
Absolutely.
prevent suicide. So we've partnered with two organizations, two co-founders, Reach Resilience and Humana, as well as like 173 other like-minded corporations and nonprofits. And what we're doing is we're working with the UT Health San Antonio, and they're helping us identify work that is evidence-based and helping to prevent suicide. So for example, if someone's doing something, say in North Dakota in their town, and they've implemented a program and they can demonstrate it's brought veteran suicide down, we seek to find that and then scale it across the country so that we can really see some statistics change in terms of veteran suicide. And we've raised over $85 million in the last
Wow.
year.
That's
for that
fantastic.
initiative. We've got experts working with us, and we're really proud of that program. And the other neat thing, right, is you always want to do something that the members want you to do, because again, they own the company and we've pulled them, and they're aligned on combating veteran suicide. Not surprising at all.
No, and it's a group effort. It's an absolute group
Yes.
effort. This cannot be done by just one corporation or one individual. It's everybody within the organization and the others that you've partnered with. This is the only way we're going to bring attention, awareness, and provide the resources to the veterans who are in need right then and there. So I just want to commend you for raising those funds and for helping all the veterans and their families, because that is an extremely important cause. And I think a cause that's not given enough attention to. So I want to commend you for that.
Well, and Mona Lisa, thank you. And I just want to add that, the Department of Defense and the Department of Veteran Affairs, they do so much work to help service members and veterans. So we're seeking to amplify those efforts. And we're also just getting corporate America, right, to get involved
Right.
as well.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, there's a lot of synergy there. And I think that's the proudest thing I am of the work we do here at USAA.
Well, I want to commend you for all the work you've done, not only for your employees and for your company, but for all that you do with all the support and the collaboration to really advance and help not just the veterans, but their families. And I'm not surprised that you've made the U.S. Veterans Magazine's top veteran-friendly employer list. Just wondering, what does that mean to you as getting this recognition?
Well, it's an important validation. Being on the top, veteran-friendly employer list is great validation that we're doing the right thing here. Those 25 original members, they brought on veterans to run USAA at the time, and we want to do the same going forward. And so it's neat to see the recognition and know that we're moving in the right direction. And I just want to thank you, Mona Lisa, for everything that you're doing with Veterans Magazine and amplifying the challenges out there, and more importantly, amplifying what all those solutions are. I know your father served in the Army, and I really appreciate his service. And obviously that means that you're a military family member, and my family is of military family members as well. And so it's really nice to have this interview with you and to work with you.
Right. Well, I hope to meet you one day in person, maybe at one of these conferences. I attend a lot of them. I would love the opportunity to at least say hello face to face. And I thank you again for all that you've done and for this interview. And I wish you the best and have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day. And we'll move on from there. And thanks to your team as well. All right. God bless. Thank you.
All right. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you again.